Welcome back to another episode. Today, we're going to talk about how to restart your real estate business in a new market. But first, I'm your host, Tamera. If you like my content, you're really going to love my escrow team. Give me an opportunity to talk to you about your title needs. You can reach out to me on any of my social media platforms and let's get a conversation started. Today's guest is Brandon Hayes. He's a realtor with the Top Equity Group at Real. He has moved his business down from Oregon to Texas, the DFW market. He is a wonderful partner of mine. So I wanted to have him on the show today because I thought it was really interesting that he has become so successful here once he has relocated his business. So I wanted him to talk to you today about how he did that. So thank you for being on the show today, Brandon.
Thanks for having me today.
It's always great to see you. I get to see you a lot, which makes me very happy. So, and you're always a very warm and welcoming person. I love the fact that you always invite me to the block parties. I haven't made one yet, but I love the fact that I get invited.
The invites will keep coming too.
Now that I know you have a Traeger pellet grill, I might actually, I might have to make it a point to show up.
Anytime. We've got one coming up actually here shortly.
Well, thank you, Brandon. I'm one of those people that like to kind of dive right in. So let's go ahead and get started. I'd like for you to start by giving us the backstory of why you decided to move to DFW from Oregon. And because I know you had a really established business in Oregon. So will you give us your backstory of how you got here?
Yeah. So it was, I've been licensed up there since 2012.
Okay.
And I love what I do. Just get to talk to people and help people. You know, it's just people have problems and we got to find the solutions for them.
You're a hustler too. So
I like I said, you know, when you love what you do, like, you're not working, right?
Right.
So I guess the backstory is I moved my family from the Portland area in like 2017 to Central Oregon, the Bend area. It was amazing. It was outdoor life, anything you could ask for, river flowing through it. So I had to actually transition my business. That was like step one. Was going 3 hours away. I would commute sometimes back over the mountain to the Portland area. So that was like the first little gist of me relocating my business from where it began.
That 3 hours is a stretch.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Like there were some times where I, went out there for a listing appointment. I would stay out there for the night and then drive back.
Okay,
I did do the day trip though a couple times, and that was a
whooping.
Yeah, it was wild. A lot of miles.
I mean, you can almost get to North Austin in 3 hours.
Yeah,
so it's a lot of driving.
I will tell you, I have, narrowed down my little, my parameters and my circumference lately. But
so you were kind of teed up a little bit to move here because you had started that kind of a transition.
Yes.
Already moving it from Portland to,
Bend.
Bend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bend, Oregon.
Bend, Oregon. Yeah.
Yeah. It was, it was amazing too. And it actually blew up. It blew up probably like 15 through 19. It was going wild. Kind of right before what happened here in 2020. Mm-hmm. So, but anyways, when COVID hit the Rona season, that was kind of shook everything up a little bit. And Oregon, for people who know it, like they run things a little different up there.
A little bit different.
Yeah,
you literally made my jaw drop to the table with some of your stories.
It is kind of crazy. Yeah. So we just, I guess in a nutshell, we just wanted to give the boys just a life of being kids and having fun, being able to play sports, no, requirements or, kind of some of the nonsense that they, we had to
you
go
guys
through
are a big
there.
softball family.
Baseball and football. Yeah.
Oh, baseball. I'm
baseball
sorry.
And football.
Why was I thinking softball? Because I know the answer.
Softball.
Okay, that's why. I was like,
softball.
oh, wait a minute. I didn't get that from nowhere.
I will tell you too. I was playing up there too, but down here, it's a culture.
Oh, like it's a life.
It is. There's a tournament every weekend, whether it's Carrollton or it's Weatherford or Forney, wherever, there's something happening every single weekend.
And you're going, yeah.
I try to do one a month.
One a month.
But okay. I do play on a season though, Sunday nights up in Prosper and Frontier Park, which is amazing. Okay. They haven't expanded to the co-ed, but it's just men's right now. But they have a great facility up there, and it's it's 13 teams. Like it's growing up there too. Okay. But it's awesome.
So when you decided that you wanted to give your family a better life because of some of the challenges with I guess we could just say politics in Oregon.
Yeah, we could say that.
You decided to move here. Why here?
So my wife actually found this. So Texas and Florida were kind of the places we want to go. We heard that the air was different down here.
The air was different.
Yeah, the air was different down here. So, but my wife, she just Googled like a great place to raise kids and have a family and all of that stuff. And we were looking at Frisco, McKinney, Prosper, Salina area, and we landed in Prosper.
Okay.
And so, and then after further research, like the schools are amazing. And, but I will say we've been a homeschool family since, I don't know, I think this is our 7th year.
Okay.
Possibly. Maybe 7 or 8. I don't even know. But we still wanted a good, a small enough town that, we could, just raise the family and not really deal with a bunch of nonsense.
Okay. So you made the decision to move to DFW. How did you prepare to move your business?
So it was like I don't know. Lacey, my wife, she mentioned it a couple times.
Okay.
And so I want to say it was like, I don't even know. It was like August of 2020 when we really started thinking about it. And I want to say it was like December of 2020 when we actually made the decision. So we flew down here and it was March. It was right after the big freeze, I believe, was in 21, wasn't it?
Snowmageddon?
Yeah, it was
terrible.
Yeah. So we got here right after it all thawed.
Okay, right after it all thawed.
Right after it all thawed. And then we stayed at the Gaylord, which was an amazing, like one of the best hotels here.
Oh yeah,
it was
you don't
awesome.
have to leave.
Oh, it was awesome.
Everything. The kids go bananas.
Yeah, it was a kid-free like journey though.
Yeah.
So we got down. Okay. Yeah, so we got down here. We kind of just checked out the whole little layout. Got turned around. GPS sent us in all these different ways. So, but I will say,
Texas ain't small, Brandon.
Oh my goodness, the Google Maps can't even keep up with the traffic here, or the routes that you're supposed to go. I swear, the first little bit I got down here, and it was like turn left here. I would turn left, and then it was like, do a 540 and go the opposite way. And I was like, oh my, it was wild. But yeah, we got down here and kind of mapped it all out. And then I flew back in April. I actually started my real estate test. It was April 6th. It was the day after my birthday.
Okay.
And then I flew down here again May 1st to take my test. So that was like, I don't even know. It was a 180-hour test.
Yeah,
to get
happy birthday. That's a fun thing to do.
It was pretty. It was challenging, but I was like, you better pass the first time.
That's right.
Brandon. Like you better pass. Like there's no other option. So I did pass the first time. I don't know if it was like a 70, 75 and a half or whatnot, but it was
just pass or
it was
fail.
Enough.
Yeah, it was enough.
Yeah, so I knocked out both of those, and then we had our U-Haul and a pod loaded up, and we left the end of May.
Okay.
Yeah, we got down here June 2nd.
June 2nd, 21. 21. Okay. So you got here. Did you do anything to prep your business to move here?
So what I did was I started making a lot of conversations, like with like just a lot of friends and announcements and whatnot on social media. And then come to find out there was like 7 families that were right behind us.
I got it.
And so that was propelled my business to get like running right off the bat.
So I think that's a really big golden nugget that you just said is before you move, leverage the database you have where you are.
Absolutely.
Because there's a lot of people moving here, right?
Yeah, there's a lot
of people moving here. So you picked a very robust relocation area, right?
Yep.
And so because of that, and because you leveraged your database and informed your client, you informed the people that you knew, your sphere, what you were doing, you were able to set yourself up with some transactions when you got here, which is brilliant.
Yeah, it was that helped. And we just as soon as we got down here, like, and then it was just like a word of mouth thing. Like everybody just started asking, like, what's the deal about Texas? I kind of explained the whole situation on why we were relocating, and there was way more people than I thought that had the same mindset.
It is super interesting because I think that a lot of people get here, they have a misconception that they have to get here and start here from scratch. Start at home.
Yeah.
Start at home.
Absolutely.
Especially because of where we are, right?
And this is one of the best real estate markets. Like there's 8.3 or something like that million people in the DFW area. Ugh. I heard that's a lot of people. That's a lot of homes and a lot of buyers and sellers. So there is an endless supply. But I'm sure DFW is also expanding quite a bit too. So where you live,
of course, yes,
that's like that used to not even be the edge.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to drive up there in my first job in real estate and it was dirt roads.
Oh.
So yes, it has come a long way. But I love what you said about leveraging the sphere you have where you are. Now, you did a lot of flying back and forth for a while, or you still do.
I've only actually flown back once.
You've only flown back once
Yeah.
because you helped. Okay, but you still had transactions up in Oregon that you continued to do, even though you had moved here.
Yeah,
which also helped your business.
Yeah, that did help because like half of my deals were still out of Oregon.
Okay, and you didn't give up any of that business.
No,
you had a team up there or someone to help you.
It was just all me. I had the system in place though.
Okay,
so mostly listings.
Right.
I only did a couple buyers, because I've got those eyes, those inspector eyes to go through, look at like cracks, look at whatever foundations, whatever needs to happen. Like I met this old timer one time, and he was the first guy who never got inspections when I sold him houses. He would like buy houses for grandkids and finance them for him. And I'll tell you what, this guy showed me what to look for and what not, like what to pass on and what to just kind of break down a house. Mm-hmm. And so I love being able to do that with a buyer when I walk into a house, show them a house and be like, hey, these are the things that we can see. Obviously we'll get an inspection and whatnot and find out stuff that we don't see. But mostly it was all listings, and I still have closed a few deals this year up in Oregon as well. Salute.
Okay. So you didn't really work any buyers still up there, but you were able to go ahead and finish out your listing transactions remotely. And you said you had a system. Are you keep it proprietary? Are you going to share?
No. So, I mean, as long as you have photos have to look amazing. That's step one. Like photos, they better make the house look better than the house is, right? To get people in. Always. We can see that all the time. And it's kind of funny when you see a listing and you're like, what are these photos? You see this other, why would you hire somebody to list your house when the photos?
They took them with their iPhone. Yeah, understood.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah.
So that's the key thing. So the biggest, most of my business still came from my sphere up there. I wasn't doing any,
cultivating.
I wasn't cultivating any new, a lot of word of mouth though still. I sold some houses of people who knew me and was like, Brandon's is where you need to be, like the only choice. And so I was able to still do that. And I've got a listing up there right now. I've sold a few other ones this year. I do think I'm going to probably let that license go and just refer it out. I've got a couple amazing referral partners up there now that I can just kind of let it go, kind of burn the ship, right?
Yeah.
And
well, the longer the year gone, it's just going to naturally start to dissipate if you don't have someone there working it, right?
Absolutely.
So, and your business has gotten big enough. So that brings me to my next question. So let's talk about your ground game approach here, right? Yeah. So what was your ground game approach when you got here? Meaning what were the most important activities and tasks that you had to do to stay diligent about getting business once you got here? Yeah,
I would say the biggest thing is just get connected, right? Okay. So my two youngest boys, they are just sports minded, just little athletes. So the first thing we did was they were in some baseball camps. They were in basketball camps on that first summer that we got here before we even had our flag in the ground, right?
Okay.
Pretty much before we were in our house and whatnot. And so I started there. And then I don't really have the conversation. People come up to me and they ask me what do you do? I don't do the typical, I'm a realtor, can I help you? Do you have a friend?
Sure,
looking to buy or sell. You know what I mean? So I mentioned this before, and people ask me, I just let them know I'm in sales. And then once they do that, if they really care, they'll ask me what type of sales or what avenue it is. And then from there, I'll go into it a little bit and then build that rapport initially. So once we got, so to answer your question, so sports were the first thing.
Okay.
Softball. I was playing softball down here when I came down here to take my tests and to look around. I found a community already.
Oh, you didn't even live here, and you're I'm here to play softball.
I just went to softball and DFW little Facebook group and got a part of it. And I was like, hey, I'm linked up with a couple people,
Brandon.
And I was like, hey, I'm going to be in town. You guys have any games going on? He was like, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Peanut, I love you, buddy. Thank you for bringing me in, man. So, and then the softball community, once we got planted, that was big because I joined a few different tournament groups and teams, and we'd play in different locations trying to get a feel for whatever, just getting the name out there too. And then we found a church. We got plugged into there too. once again, another community. And then we homeschool. So that was another avenue. So that was four
Well, wait a
four
minute.
groups
Explain
right
to
there.
everyone how homeschooling is an avenue, because most people I would think it would be a hindrance because they're not going to school. So you don't have any PTA and you don't have, those meet the teachers and all of that kind of stuff. So,
So we're a part of a homeschool group called Classical Conversations. And I think it's actually worldwide.
Okay.
But a whole bunch, it's regional. So the campus that we go to, they do meet once a week, and it's pretty hands-on, and it's pretty like there's a couple other times a week where the group still gets together even outside the one community day.
Okay.
So like it's more than what it used to be.
Yeah.
I used to have all these crazy thoughts about
I know.
Homeschool.
Yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And so all these misconceptions and whatnot. And but yeah, it's really big. And we do a lot of groups, and I've gotten a lot of leads actually. I've gotten probably more deals from the homeschool community than I have on the other three.
Okay.
I would say, yeah.
Well, I would think the other ones would have other, like your competitors are there.
Yeah.
Real
But
estate.
I will say
dads.
though, I mean, there are a few other, realtors in
church. Realtors, like, a lot of realtors go to church, right?
Oh, yeah.
So high competition there, but
absolutely. Yeah. But I mean, really, it's just it's a personal game, right? Like
it is.
it's
Relationship business.
That's
You're
all
right.
it is. Like I don't know. I love people.
You do love people.
I do love people. I'm a hugger too.
You are a hugger.
And that was tough during the whole Rona season, trying to hug people, I'd be like, hey, people would come in. I'm like, dude, bring it in. All right. Like, it's okay. You can sanitize if you want, but that's all it is. It's just starting the conversation. Once the conversation gets going, like, like if you're genuine and, if you're a genuine person, and I don't know, when I have a conversation with somebody, I try to put the conversation back on them. I want to know more about you, and I want to know whatever all the questions are.
I think that's another golden nugget that you have said today is when you're building relationships with people, if you are truly genuine with them, like you're not there because you have an ulterior motive. You want a real estate transaction.
Absolutely.
You are there first and foremost because you genuinely want to connect with people.
Yeah.
And so people can feel that, right? And
absolutely.
we know the answer that people do business with people they know, like, and trust. So
absolutely.
You're easy to get to know. You're very genuine. You're easy to connect with. So I can see how that works out really well for you.
And you know what? You're just like me, though. Like you are a people person as well.
Don't tell anybody.
Whatever. You got a light, an aura around you when you walk in the room. People stop the music. The DJ stops the music, and Tamera is in the house.
That's hilarious. Let me ask you, did you face any challenges trying to get up and running here?
I mean, I didn't have that sphere that I had up in Oregon where I built a business and people knew my business. So I really had to, I did have some challenges for sure. But
you saw, let's put aside, let's isolate this a bit.
Okay.
So let's put aside the business that you got from people moving down here to Oregon, which was fantastic, by the way.
Yeah.
Trying to start over here, you still have to do that part, right?
Absolutely.
So the challenge is you didn't have a sphere here. Now you immediately did what we know realtors do, that you plug into the community, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so you did that. Do you know how long it took you to get your first deal from a referral that was truly genuine from your development efforts here?
Oh, I mean, actually, it was probably, I think it was that 3 or 4th month, I want to say. Like before.
That's actually really, really good. I mean, I was a recruiter for a hot minute, and I always told, these are newer agents, 9 to 12 months, or people that relocated here, 9 to 12 months before you get your first transaction. So the fact that you got one in 3 to 4 months.
Yeah, I want to say it was like in that 100 and right a little over 100 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But that was like closing though too. So
say again?
That was a closing though as well.
What do you mean?
That wasn't just like meeting somebody and showing them.
I meant get your first real estate transaction. Yeah. You said 3 to 4 months.
Yeah, it was right around that 100 days.
Okay. That's really good.
Yeah,
you were plugging in hardcore then.
Yeah, well, I had a couple people move down right after us, and I had a couple closings before that, just with the sphere. But yeah, like the newbies and like the new clientele.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
3 to 4 months.
Yep.
But this was also, we also have to keep in mind, we're in a very different market now.
Absolutely.
So 3 to 4 months in 2021 is very different than 3 to 4 months today. 3 or 4 months, that would have equated to probably 6 to 9 months today.
Possibly. Yeah. No, I mean, it has slowed down a little bit, but people, there's, like you see it, like there's still transactions happening.
Oh, there are still transactions, just not to the level it was in 20. I wish. Yeah. A lot of people don't. But
there's a lot of people that have left though too on the
You're right.
in
the Realtor
world.
pool has narrowed a bit. That is for sure. And we may see a continued narrowing.
I was just going to say that too. Like there's going to be another chunk that doesn't renew at the first of the year.
Yeah. And then we'll see what happens with all of the commission lawsuits, which we're not going to go down that rabbit hole today. But there is a prediction that it will help. It will also narrow the Realtor pool.
I agree with that. But I also think like next year is it's an election year though too. Is. So I feel that, I don't know. I feel like it's still going to be good because people are going to want the votes, right?
Yeah.
And so I think they're going to do some things to whatever.
I don't hate that gas is $2.48 a gallon right now.
No, not mad at that. Not mad at that at all.
So, and my dad would be proud of me that I knew how much gas was because he asked me all the time, and I'm like, I don't know, Dad, I just fill up. But anyway, I happen to notice that one.
just don't use the Christmas green nozzle, right?
No, never. But there are TikToks about that. It's hilarious.
I heard that.
Okay. So this may not be a question that's applicable to you considering you had so many referral transactions from your home state, but did you feel like you needed to financially prepare for a drought moving down here in your real estate business?
I mean, moving in general was like,
well, that's incredibly expensive.
That wasn't cheap.
Right.
And I think we probably only moved with like 40% of our stuff too. We got rid of a lot of stuff and we started fresh.
Okay.
Once we got down here. And so, I mean, we were prepared, but, I don't know, we hit the ground running. So it all kind of worked together.
I was kind of trying to narrow in, like, did you think that you might have a 6-month drought and financially prepare for a 6-month drought when you got here?
You can't have a 6-month drought. You can't.
All right.
Yeah. But I mean, you should definitely have at least like 3 months ready to go, just in case.
I mean, look, I think it's a warranted conversation when you're completely relocating,
Absolutely.
Right? From one state to another that's nowhere near each other.
Yeah.
So it's a practical conversation to have.
Absolutely.
I hear what you're saying, and I do always appreciate your hustle, but preparing for 6 months to me sounds extremely reasonable.
I think that's you can't go wrong with that.
Okay. Any advice for a realtor needing to relocate? Did you, meaning what were your most valuable lessons that you learned? Challenges, solution.
Yeah, I would say it's kind of like the same advice I would give somebody today that's looking for business next year, right?
Okay.
You got to start now. And so whether that is, there's multiple ways to, like you can find numbers all over the place. You can buy lists. You can go remine what we talked about a couple times, like that, having that tool, that was amazing. But I mean, this is a 30, 60, 90-day business. So like in order for, January, February to be good, like you got to start making the calls September, October, November, right? Because whatever you do, like it sets you up for the future. So my biggest thing is if you are going to relocate, get plugged into some circles that, like I mentioned before, some interests and like that would be my first thing I would say. And you can even start by doing some PPC. Pay-per-click.
Oh.
Yeah. Just running some Google ads and website. You gotta have a website. People want to know your info.
You gotta have a CRM. You gotta have a website.
You have to.
Look, Brandon, there's a couple of things that are against my religion to talk about on my podcast. Okay, we don't talk about CRMs or websites. If you ain't got one, this is the wrong podcast for you. Okay?
I agree. So I had one website when I first started, and I was running some ads to that, but then I've just revamped it. I met this amazing guy. Can I give a little shout out to MJ Jackson? You are phenomenal. So I have built the website, but he helped me with the content and SEO.
Okay.
And I'll tell you,
what is his specialty? Is that his specialty? Is website building? Is he a realtor?
Yeah. No, he's not a realtor,
okay.
But he's worked in the car industry and he does a lot of stuff with the automotive genre, shall we say.
Does he work for other, is he hireable?
Yeah. You can.
What's his name?
His name is Michael Jackson. Yeah.
Stop it.
I swear. MJ, call him. Shout out, buddy. I love you. And you do great work. I appreciate you. Viralfootprint.com.
Viralfootprint.com.
Yeah. And you can shoot him a little email at viralfootprint@mail.com.
Viralfootprint@mail.com.
Yeah. So this guy, I built, we use Chime. We have Chime available to us at my brokerage.
What is Chime? Explain to the non-real.
Yeah. So Chime is one of the best tools I've used. I've used Top Producer. That was the very first one way back in my Arizona real estate days. That was just the CRM. And then we went to Boomtown. That was at my company that I worked with up in Oregon, Stellar. I love you guys. I miss you guys too. And then Chime is like Boomtown, but it's I would say it's like on steroids. Okay. So it has all the features, all the it's got everything. You can run ads through it too. I like to do my own ads.
Is it owned by Real?
No, it's not.
Okay, so anyone can.
Yeah, anybody can. We just get a special little deal.
Understood. Okay, that's what I wanted to clarify though.
But they have like a whole little website that you can use as well. I don't know what it is for the public if you wanted to, but if you're a team and you don't have anything like specific that you're using, I would definitely check that out.
Okay, Chime. Got it.
Actually, it's not even Chime anymore. They just, it's Lofty now.
Lofty.
Yeah, they just rebranded themselves.
Okay.
So
Lofty.
Lofty. Lofty. But yeah, so I built a website through them. And then MJ came on and he was able to, he's a magician when it comes to like SEO and content. And so that website, I would say feel free to check out topequitygroup.com, and we've got something available for every buyer out there. Like, it doesn't matter if you're looking for something under 400, if you're looking for something under over 15 million, right? We've got like penthouses on there. We've got, it's a great little one-stop shop.
Do you get leads from it?
I do.
Good.
Yeah, I do. And I've had, and actually he's even helped me. So if you type in Prosper Realtor, like I'm one of the top.
Are you the one?
I'm like usually one of the top. Usually the top one to two when it comes to the businesses. But yeah, I just closed on a deal actually from that a couple weeks ago. And I've got leads pouring in regularly, which is from that, which is really good.
Well, look, having a presence on Google or, having your SEO set up is a highly important thing. I mean, that's what people do these days. They Google people.
And that's way
Google
over my
things. They Google everything.
I'm so not tech savvy.
Can't tell you how many times I Google something.
Oh, absolutely. You go
everything.
Google it, right? Yeah. That's got to be one of the biggest phrases ever. If I don't know
somebody, then that's what I do, right? So you said a couple of interesting things that you were referring to this time of year, but it's also something that is important as a realtor or a salesperson in general. I mean, your pipeline setup, making sure that you're teeing up now for the spring market. That's what you're doing, right?
Absolutely.
You're making contacts, you're building your network, you're setting things up for people that are going to be ready to buy in the spring.
Yeah.
Okay.
And sell. I love working with sellers.
Of course. And I love that you love working with sellers. Okay. And then using Remind. Remind is an important farming tool. So your title company reps, your only title company. I have access to farming tools, but I refer my clients to Remind. The reason is because it's part of Netris, and you're already paying for Netris, right?
Yeah.
And farming tools cost money. Any kind of system is, any kind of system is going to cost something. This stuff doesn't roll out for free typically.
Yeah.
So Remind is part of Netris, and it's a very robust geo-farming tool that you can use to pull lists of people that are most likely to sell. And it actually gives you criteria to narrow down that list, like how much equity they have in the house and how long have they been there and things. And then they rate them.
Yeah.
These people are most likely to sell so that you can target your farming, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So I think that's super important. And then you said buying lists. Do you buy lists right now?
Not since you introduced me to Remind.
Oh, good. Yeah. Okay,
so,
good.
Like Remind has now been my go-to list, and I blasted out some emails, but mostly just getting on the phone and just dialing for dollars.
Love it.
Yeah. And you know what? Like Remind, they do kind of categorize people like low, medium, or high on their I guess when they're ready to sell. I guess based on their formula and whatnot.
Yep.
And even some of the lows, though, like there's gold in low.
Okay.
So I don't just always just call the highs or the mediums. Like I'll bust out a list and I'll just, based off what I really am looking for in my like criteria, I will just jam down the list.
Well, but that's setting up your pipeline, right? Because you're not setting up just your 30-day pipeline, but you're setting up your 60, your 90, your 120, and so on pipeline, right?
Yeah, but I'm like, like I've got a good lead right off of like when they categorize one as a low, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I've got a couple people like from that list that are going to sell like the beginning of the year.
That's amazing. Yeah. So don't discount the low.
Do you know a lot of agents that use that tool?
Remind?
Yeah.
I do. I know a lot that have been introduced to it. Whether or not they leverage it, I'm not quite sure.
Okay. I was at a little gathering a couple weeks ago and it was brought up a few times, but
Realist,
I haven't really heard.
That's another one. Realist, that's inside an interest. A lot of realtors, some of my top teams use Realist.
Okay. I haven't really dove. That's like one thing at a time.
One thing at a time. Your next one's Realist, Brandon.
I'll check that out.
All right. Well, this is where we have to stop for today. We're out of time. So any just burning desire, last minute advice you need to give for people, realtors relocating? You can say no.
But. No, you know what I would say? Contact Tamera Gady. That's what I would say.
Thanks.
And do your transactions with her team because her team is, I love my title gal up in Oregon and I get the same little vibe that I get from working with you guys. So you guys are awesome.
Brandon.
Yeah, you're awesome.
I appreciate that so much. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Merry
I appreciate
Christmas
you.
to me. I got a compliment today. So, all right. Well, that's it for this episode. Again, I'm your host, Tamera Gady. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you like my content, you're really going to love my escrow team. So give me an opportunity to talk to you about your title needs and you guys make it a great day.